All right, y'all. So we're getting closer and closer to the October challenge with LASHAE on ifyoucanmove.com. Y'all know that I was a part of last month's challenge, the Hip Hop Tabata Season 2 challenge, and I went down a whole size from a large to a medium on my way to a small. Think it's a game, okay? You guys can go and sign up for the October challenge, which is the Trap and Tone challenge, which will start at some point in October. I'm not sure because we're still waiting on our weighted bands. Damn you, postal system. Okay, you also can purchase the Yogi Fits, which are the tights and the top. Okay, the Bustikela from Peja and Amari, which is also in the boutique if you go to teamlashe.com. So support Black owned businesses, get in shape, get your life, and yes, please, ISOT Nutriburst, get your life. I know that y'all think we out here scamming y'all, but I know y'all see us. How is a scam if you seeing the results? Okay, get your life. Look, get down below in that description box. Use my link. Try this tea out. Try out the Nutriburst. You can always get samples. You can even get your money back on some of this stuff if you don't like it, because people have done it, okay? But you have got to work out as well. Please do not think you can just drink tea and you're gonna lose weight. That's not how any of this works, okay? You have to really be on a journey where you're trying to get healthier, and this aids in that process. So, now that I've said all of that, y'all go ahead and enjoy whichever video is coming after this ad. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another Tamar Get Your Life, okay? Look, I'm happy to be one of the only people reviewing this show, because it's a lot. Like, to be honest, emotionally, watching it mentally, to me, what I am starting to feel is like a dark presence around David. Like, I'm sorry, but that's what it's starting to feel like to me. And look, these braids are thrown on top of my head in any old type of way, so that might change throughout this video. Because like you know, it's not really like staying up there, it's just up there because the other way pulls on my edges. So, you know, we ain't got time for that. So I pulled it this way so that it wouldn't be pulling here. So look, just leave me be, okay? I still think I look cute, okay? Like, in all honesty. And of course, you know, like, say what you will, okay? Like, I think it's lovely. Anyway, look, so Tamar lost her voice. Y'all know that is a theme with Tamar. She gets hoarse and now she can't say anymore. But somehow she can be screaming, David, and all of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I thought your voice was incapable, Tamar. Why are we David? Why are we doing that? Like, why is it there? You know what I'm saying? If the voice is here and you can't, like, if you can't, then you shouldn't be able to, David! You shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it just me? Anyway, I'm sorry. So she has a show coming up. Her voice is still not right. David's dog, who he has left at her home, shits on the floor. And she, I guess, thought he was in the house. I don't know whether he was in the house or not, but she FaceTimes him and he's like, well, you know, you have to walk the dog. You know, you have to let the dog outside. I walk the dog twice a day so the dog doesn't poop because I let it outside. If the dog has to go, the dog has to go. Now, even though that makes sense, there's something about it that makes me feel like he is constantly trying to distract her or add on to her load. I don't care what anybody says throughout this episode. There is a theme of David trying to make Tamar's life hard just for no reason. And I feel like him leaving his dog at her house while she's trying to handle the dream work and the music and all of that. Why would you leave one more thing for her to have to handle at her house instead of taking your dog back to your house? Okay? It really annoyed me and made me feel like, wow, he's, you know, really trying to put her in a bad space in all these little bitty ways. And throughout the episode, we get to see more of that, and I'm going to be pointing them out as we go along. This was just the first one. She tells him the next time he goes home to take his dog with him. I feel like that would be understood to me. I would never, like, leave my dogs at somebody else's house. Like, even if I was fooling with them, if I'm going home, my dogs are going home with me. Like, that's just in my mind, okay? But anyway, she goes to rehearsal for her show, which is sold out on both nights, okay? And Goldie goes with her, and Goldie is watching her during this terrible rehearsal where things aren't right and she's having to correct people and she can't full out sing because she has to preserve her voice, and Goldie is just sitting in the crowd observing in that way that Goldie does that makes you feel as if something about this is bothering her. Okay. She's stressing for Tamar. Like, you can tell, like, whatever is happening up there, the mirror is happening with Goldie. Then David lands and meets with Tracy's husband behind Tamar's back because he feels like it was a storyline or a huge point of contention on Braxton family values that Tracy and Tamar got into it. That last, little dinner that they had to meet, I was on Tracy's side. I was on her husband's side. I fully understood what they were saying. And I think everybody did what they always do, which is allow Tamar to get away with the antics and also to let Tracy know that they don't care how she feels. I don't care what anybody says. I know Tracy can sometimes do a lot of whining, and it's like, you made your decision. Get over the fact that you didn't sign that contract. You made your decision to be there for your son, and that's what you did, and that's what you should feel like was the right thing for you to do in the way it was supposed to happen, because that's what happened. Tracy has to come to peace with that herself. But when her husband came to the table to talk to them about what this feels like for her, to actually say she feels like y'all don't love her or support her in the same way as y'all do one another, and they all just sat there and ignored him as if nobody cares what he has to say for whatever reason. And I guess it might be because of issues they've had in their marriage, but that's their marriage. And I think all of the sisters can sometimes meddle and do the most. And Tamar especially meddles and does the most when it was her sister's marriages. You know what I'm saying? So I just personally feel like David has been watching the show, for one, and is trying to produce by sitting down with Tracy's husband to try to get them to come together. Also, still while judging them and making it seem as if, family doesn't do what happened at that table. And I'm like, I don't know what part of that you were talking about, but to me, the thing that upset me the most is that Tamar is allowed to say whatever she wants to say. When Tracy says what she wants to say, everybody sits up there and acts like Tracy is wilding out and Tamar wasn't, I guess, or they're just over it. But I feel like they've all allowed Tamar to get away with things that they don't allow from one another as the older sisters. Okay, period. When David compared his relationship with Tamar to Tracy and her husband's like 20-30 year marriage or something like that, I was just kind of like, now, sir, there's just so much perpetration in the way David moves. I feel like I don't understand how people could not see it. David makes a comment about, I'm sorry, everybody and their mama, wants to cut their grass right now. Sorry about that, because I can hear it on like both sides. So if it's like a noise in the background, I'm sorry about that. But, hopefully it's not that bad, okay? Anyway, so David makes a comment about how it is commonplace in Africa for families to be together. Okay, families to have oneness, on both sides of a family. And I'm like, and it also is Nigerian for people not to get along and not to talk to their kids for forever because they don't like the person that they, child decided to marry. Okay, that's happening on another reality show right damn now. Okay, Real Housewives of Potomac, that's Wendy's Nigerian life. So David and, these constant comparisons. And there is this this annoying, I live in Africa and, we're just so much better and we're just, we're different. And, we just don't handle things in the same way you American. Like he has that about him. A lot of Africans have that vibe about African Americans, like they look down on us in some type of way. And I just kind of feel like, you can feel like you're better than me all you want to, but your head and your shoulder with are not agreeable. Your attitude is stank, and nobody has to deal with this from you. Like, you're not, to me, you don't have enough honey on you in no type of way, David, for somebody to deal with this. And that is why you have to keep Tamar in a constant space of chaos and a constant space of doubting and insecurity within herself. Because if she actually got to the place that she's trying to get within herself, you would not be allowed to run her as a boyfriend. Because let's be very clear, he got a lot of rules for a boyfriend. And he always wants to throw how him and his family are, Orthodox Christians, but you're having premarital sex with Tamar. Is that in the Bible that you can have sex with a woman without being married to her? Is that not a sin? As far as I'm concerned? Like, word? You only want to throw your Christianity around with things that you don't understand and things that can take Tamar out of your control. Now it's the devil. But it's okay for y'all to be bumping and grinding and living in each other's houses and not being married. But that's okay. Child, last time I checked, that's not what the Bible said. But you know, there might be a newer testament. I don't know. Before Tamar's performance, before her second sound check, Goldie does a relaxation exercise with her. And we can't see it, but we can hear it. And what it sounds like to me is what we used to do in yoga class. I don't know if y'all ever took yoga, but when I was at LSU, we took yoga class. In theater, and you know, and some of the things that you do in theater, they definitely have you do yoga and breathing exercises, but yoga specifically because it gets you to have control of your body, and it also gets you to rely on your breath. And a lot of things in acting is about being in a moment, and yoga and being present, and you know, focusing on breathing, meditation, all of that works together. So that's why what Goldie does helps people get to their highest potential in their art, because people's art is a part of their subconscious, it's part of their mind, it's a part of things that they create within themselves when they are free and comfortable in doing so. And I think Goldie gets people to a place where they understand their dreams and their mindset a little bit more so that they can become comfortable. Okay, it's a form of psychology as far as I'm concerned. It has nothing to do with religion or spirituality. And to see her get up and perform and sing her wig off, because this lady was there to provide her with a relaxation and a space to check in with her own body, okay, and not always worrying about what David needs, what David wants, what David will like. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tamar is a grown-ass woman that needs to focus on herself and her son, especially if the way she goes about relationships is to be in some form of constant submission, regardless to the detriment it does to oneself. Like, I'm not okay with that. I don't think that women should ever submit to a man to their own detriment. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't abide by that. So, yeah. And specifically by a man who has not put a ring on your finger, married you, or made a commitment to you in God's eyes. If we're going to use God, you know, to beat people over the head with, like he likes to do. But she sang her wig off, y'all. No one from her family attended, okay, which was sad. But at the end of the day, I feel like Tamar has pushed everybody away. Tamar put her foot in her mouth with her family, and now she wants them to be there for her while she's going through this. But you pushed them away. You've ignored Tracy when she tried, I remember. Okay, everybody's always doing something to you. You never take responsibility for the part you play sometimes in your family's foolishness. The one time I saw her take responsibility was on Iyanla, and I don't know what has happened since then, but I just feel like they just haven't been on the same page in a long time. And I think Tamar has to step out of little sister shoes and step into grown woman shoes as it pertains to the relationships with her sisters. I think everybody is tired. I think everybody has their own lives to worry about, and nobody wants to be burdened with feeling as if they always have to be in a parental, you know, not in a parental mindset, but always having to ignore or just, you know, go along with whatever Tamar wants to do so she doesn't throw a temper tantrum. So Tamar thanks Goldie for helping her get ready for her performance. You know, she was like, I'm a believer. You know what I'm saying? After all of that, okay? Because, you know, she was pretty apprehensive in Goldie's abilities, because people don't understand things like that, you know, especially people who don't have access. You know, like disenfranchised Black people that get famous from talents. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us, you know, tend to do. You don't normally have knowledge of things like this. This is like, you know, new age, ahead of its time, not, you know, given to regular public po people. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is like things that rich people pay to have, you know, people do research about for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then that becomes common practice amongst people of their, you know, tax bracket. But ultimately, you know, we don't know about it because it's not something that we don't even really go to therapy like that in order to know about, you know, analyzing dreams. I feel like people who analyze dreams a lot of times are, you know, in a spiritual journey of some sort. And so that's why people think of it as a spiritual thing when it's really not. It's more of a mental thing. And sometimes mental clarity can give you spiritual clarity as well. Okay, and that's really what it is. Okay, But it's all about being clear about what your dreams are telling you. It's not that hard to understand. You go to sleep, you have dreams. I don't know if nobody's ever told y'all that a lot of times the things that you dream in your subconscious mind are like a jumble of things that are going on in your conscious mind. So sometimes it means something, sometimes it don't. But the dreams that I remember had a lot of meaning. The dreams that I remember. Okay, so that's why, and I said it before, that's why I have an appreciation for Goldie and what she does, because I understand the importance of dreams and dream work. And I don't think it's demonic. A lot of things I don't think, like, the only things that are demonic are the things that are demonic. Like, just because, something is practiced in a different way or in another, religion, or by different people or with a different language or using different blood, figurative or real, okay? But if you're okay with killing animals for food and for clothing, then you should be okay with people killing animals for sacrifice. Because usually when people kill animals for sacrifice, there is an actual, like, reverence for the animal sacrifice versus the way we eat food from the grocery store. There's no real reverence for the fact that an animal had to die for you to eat chicken all day. Like, I'm just saying. So I oftentimes find a lot of hypocrisy in the way that people judge other people's spirituality, specifically in African religion, because he spoke about voodoo this episode. It's real. He's seen it. But it's also not demonic. Like, voodoo is not demonic. And voodoo actually voodoo in itself is African spirituality draped in Catholicism. So it uses Catholicism, Christianity. I don't know why people feel like Christianity and Catholicism aren't the same thing. It's Jesus. It's the same thing. Like, you believe in Jesus, you're a Christian. Okay? Like, you believe in Jesus, you're a Christian. That's just how this works. Okay? You're a Catholic, you're a Christian. You're a Methodist, you're a Christian. Okay? That's how this works. David really does not like the fact that Goldie's work helps Tamar get clarity. Because I think when she gets clarity, she'll be clearer on who he is. And so I think he does anything to obstruct that. Later on, he's on the phone telling her that he can't bring his family on the show and explain dream work to them because they are, Christian people, and, they will think that Goldie is a witch. And then on set, Tamar's assistant and some other people start talking about, she looks like a witch because she has all black on. She has on a black hat and a jacket and like a vest that was really cute. And I was just kind of like, or she's dressed like, black, all black because people like to wear all black. I love wearing black. Black is slimming. Black looks great. Like, it goes with everything. It's hard for me not to buy black. It's hard not to look nice in black. I don't care what anybody says. If you have on a black t-shirt and a pair of black jeans, a pair of black tights and a black shirt, and you throw a blazer or anything, dressy over that shit, it's now fixed, okay? If you have on colors, it's not that easy sometimes to make things look sleek. So me personally, I love black, and I'm kind of annoyed that she had to go and put on a different set of clothing in order for people to change their perception of her. She shouldn't have to do that. And I feel like that was the first thing that made her feel uncomfortable. And then she hears David on the phone with Tamar calling her a witch and talking about, how he saw voodoo in Africa and he doesn't know what Goldie is, but he doesn't know if it's of God, and this can ruin her career. This will ruin her career forever. And this is when Goldie gets upset and starts to cry. Once he said over and over again that Goldie being on this show with Tamar is going to ruin Goldie's very serious career. I was just like, first of all, David, WeTV can't ruin Goldie's career. Goldie has worked with Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper, probably Matthew McConaughey, like all of the good, A-list white people, okay? People who want to tell their friends about her, the friends that's got money and stuff like that. WeTV in this show and you and your people and y'all closed minds could never ruin this lady's career. I think the energy of it all made her upset. And if I were her, I would have been upset as well, because I'm here trying to help her and he's trying to demonize me on national television. So after Tamar didn't want to hear it anymore because now, it's upsetting her that he's making it seem like to his family that Goldie is some like witch who's doing like spell work on Tamar or something like that, talking about, I don't know if this is of God and all of that. So Tamar doesn't want to talk to him. So he gets on the phone with the producer And the producer is like, look, if you want to come and have a conversation with her, that's what we'll do. So the plan was for him to come over, but Tamar is just like tired of hearing about it, tired of talking about it, everything. So now Tamar doesn't want to deal with it. She wants to go to sleep, and she makes it seem like it's the network that's, you know, making all the issue. And it's like, why are you putting it on the network? She finally sees Goldie crying and everything, and she's like, you don't cry, because then I'm gonna cry. I'm like, you done already made this lady feel bad. Mona comes over. Child, I thought it was hilarious that Mona basically had a similar outfit on in brown. But Mona looked cute. Mona looked like the lady with the money came in, okay? And you know, she was just dressed in brown. But she was called in because of how they upset Goldie. And Mona, you know, sits down and talks to Goldie for a second before Tamar comes out. And basically, every time that Tamar is getting to the root of whatever her issues are, getting closer to that goal, something external comes and ruins that. And David is that person sometimes. And, you know, other times it's, you know, just distractions. But a lot of the time it's David. And then they're not saying that, but that's what it is. They're having a conversation without having a conversation. We're having an understanding here. Okay? And so when Tamar comes in, Mona basically reiterates that to her. And it needs to be, you know, like, forget David's family and how he feels. Like, that shouldn't matter. This is important to you. Mona also says that there are a lot of things that they want to record that aren't getting recorded because Tamar doesn't want to share it. And a part of me understands where Tamar is coming from, but I also understand from Mona and the network's point of view, if you want us to do a show, you have to give us content to make the show. But I feel like, you know, if she didn't want to shoot for the rest of that night, she could have at least did some of the exercises that Goldie wanted her to do. Everything doesn't make you look like an angry black woman. And sometimes you are an angry black woman and you have every right to be. And so the hell what? Okay? They're angry everything else. They are angry Asian, white, Latino, and everybody else can be angry. But black women can't be angry. Especially considering, child, we got so much to talk about. We'll talk about it later though. Mona asked Tamar, are we doing this or not? And then they talk about how, you know, her family isn't involved and that they should be. Mona says it's not healthy for Tamar being on the outside of her family, I think, because it causes her to be even more depressed. But the thing about it is, like I said earlier, Tamar put herself in a situation with the way she treated her sisters. Her sisters were going through divorces, going through issues in their marriages, and she did not have an ounce of compassion for them as far as I was concerned. She made fodder of their emotional, you know, issues in their relationships, and now, you know, it's having a mental break because of hers, and there's no one around to catch her. And I feel like she has got to learn something from this, and the lesson is not that you're a victim, especially when it comes to your sisters. I feel like they've all been there. They've all made allowances for your attitude and the way you talk to them and the way you treat them, and everybody is at a point where they're too damn old to continue to deal with this from you. And that's just how I see it. But anyways, that's all we got from this episode. Child, I don't even know how many episodes they're going to have, but, you know, I wish that they would tape and come back and give us the after David so that we can have a clearer picture of what's going on, because it's obvious he's controlling a lot of what's being taped and produced. You know, it's not just Tamar who, you know, is trying to produce the show and decide what gets taped and what doesn't get taped. You know, he didn't want Vince to be on the show and all of that. That's not a full picture of Tamar's life if we can't see Vince come in and what their relationship is like now. I feel like we were cheated in some way out of, you know, the full picture by David feeling like, you know, he shouldn't be involved. Why not? Why not? That's the baby daddy. But, you know, whatever. You know, whatever. I just feel like when people sign up for these things, you know, commit, period. But anyway, that's it. That's all. I hope y'all enjoy. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one.